Aloha and welcome to Astrology Now Maui. I am Juliet Doty, evolutionary astrologer and spiritual body trainer. Well, I have mulled over and over writing the words for this report today. And to be honest, I've found it quite hard to rally for this month's full moon. It's quite a big one. I've listened, I've gleaned, and I've stared at the chart of this full moon in Aquarius, and I finally saw my pathway through of how to share it with you all. So in the backdrop of how this year is going, it's certainly a fast and furious pace that we're setting now, together with pressures, choices, opinions, societal expectations, the political climate, say no more, even as we take care of the day-to-day stuff of our lives. So I'd like to start off with the most beautiful part of this full moon in Aquarius building is that the goddess Vesta, that you can see up here on the screen, is sitting 18 minutes so close to the sun in Leo. She is the goddess of the hearth and the heart, the keeper of the eternal flame. Boy, we need it now. She highlights here the question, are we containing our energy? Do we have good, effective boundaries, allowing the rightful form of our relationship and ships to be expressed? She is a great antidote for enmeshment, and she grounds and refines us. Mercury, stationing retrograde still, is right on the other side of the sun as he retrogrades back into Leo. He beckons us all to find our deep heart once he's in Leo. What rings true and where do we roar and will we? And so, what is in your heart of hearts that can be fanned by Vesta's encouragement, ready to take off? So we now approach the first of Jupiter-Saturn squares, which will occur precisely by 1 minute during the full moon in August 19th. In the coming months through until June 2025, we will experience 3 occurrences of this intense period. So just let me explain the square. It serves as a catalyst for growth, urging us all to take action. The tension involved prompts us to address our weaknesses and limitations, pushing us to progress and evolve. Saturn, the planet of contraction, the reality checker, the rule maker, the patriarchy, is of course traditional, conservative, institutional, sometimes judgmental, and is quite the serious, control-loving fella. He gets a bad rap really, but did you know that he is a feminine yin energy? I tell my clients when they have a Saturn transit happening to regard it like a wise old grandma who is telling you to let go of this and do less of that and take responsibility, mature up to your next level. Of course, consideration, pruning away, and discipline is always required from Saturn. But on the upside, Saturn brings tremendous focus if harnessed. He offers incredible endurance and is very patient and embodies wisdom together with a good worth ethic. So if you mix Saturn up with Jupiter, who just wants to expand and travel and exert his belief as he heads out ambitiously in pursuit of a philosophical activity full of inspiration, or on the extreme other end is extravagantly indulging in excess, more likely in a conceited and pompous way. So in general, we are encouraged to expand forward with the new ways as we release the old past ways. And so included in there what old beliefs do you have? What old beliefs that are redundant now that you can peel away, surrender, and reveal your authenticity? So where have we expanded too far? What do we need to let go of or prune away? What is so over in your life that it screams, let me go? So sitting right next to Jupiter, we have Mars, the planet of action and desire, in a new phase, brand new phase, ready to try out some new and out-of-the-box ideas. He wants to shake things up with some diversification and variety, being fully prompted by Jupiter, expanding all of those ideas that Mars is so full of right now. It's an incredible opportunity for everyone. Saturn is urging him on, urging us on to take on some of the new desirable avenues of action and desire, to trust ourselves and have some faith and to focus while we're at it. He'll back anyone who puts their hearts and minds into it. So next up, we have yet another T-square. Indeed, we have 3 this full moon. That's why it took me so long how to bring this information to you in this Aquarian full moon. So we have the ruler of this Aquarius moon, Uranus, squaring the sun in Leo, and of course the moon. Moon is always opposite the sun in a full moon, and they're all pretty much exactly 27 degrees for sure. I just can't remember the minutes right now, but it's very, very close. So it is calling for a strong change, being led by our hearts. It becomes simple during these times of intensity. Expect the unexpected. There may be, some seismic activity with this one. This T-square is in fixed signs, so anything that has been stubbornly entrenched will be forced out. Remember that song from David Bowie, Changes? Change is occurring all over and will be. The DNC chose one hell of a day to begin their convention. And so we just need to follow our hearts. Keep the formula simple and breathe deeply into your beautiful heart. KISS. I'm sure you've heard of that one. Keep it simple, silly. Go for the change you know you need. Get ahead of Uranus and change up your daily routine. Get up earlier. Have your tea or coffee outside instead of inside. Drive to work using a different route. Walk backwards up the hill. Eat your eggs on top of the toast instead of beside it. Go to yoga in the evening slot instead of early in the morning and meditate instead. You get the idea and you know what changes will assist you. Apply them. You are preparing yourself for change as it will come. So get curious about how you may want to change up your life. Wherever Gemini is in your natal chart, that will be where the changes will happen. Not just now, the rest of this year and into next year. The last T-square is with Ceres, exactly squaring the lunar nodes, the karmic axis. So that's strong as well. They're all at 7 degrees, calling for a continued blitz on disciplined, responsible approaches as to how we can care more for one another, ourselves, and the earth. We all affect each other. And to make her point felt more solidly, she's stationing direct just 6 days later. So it's big time astrology here. So there are numerous sextiles, meaning help is on hand. There are 2 yods, fingers of God, or hand of destiny as the yods are called, both involving the Sun and Pluto, highlighting, shining light upon the needed transformation, the purge and elimination, so that spiritual evolvement can occur individually and collectively. We are being bolstered here with superlative assistance by the Sun and Pluto. Neptune and Jupiter are the other planets in the yods, and both are co-rulers of Pisces, the quantum field, where we can surrender and let go, softening the energies, and compassion, so that together with some truth and faith thrown in, we can tap into our confidence to stand into our truth, take that stand and take action. So it's all on the cards here. Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus are all helping and flowing with the foundational support for the needed change. We've got this. So don't go down the vortex. Just stay with the goddesses and all the support that's there. Pallas Athene adds to the score of goddesses helping here as well. Pallas adds an undeniable, single-eyed focus to let go of the resistance, to stand in one's autonomy and be the sovereign soldier driving forth with your purpose. After all, it was Pallas Athene who led the warriors home from the Trojan War way, way back. She guides the feminine through, for us, through the patriarchal realms. And indeed, that's what we're in now. She stands opposite Sedna, who's showing us the way from the outer realms of the cosmos. She's right next to Uranus, completing a grand cross to Vesta and the Sun. So the goddesses are spurring us onwards. So right now, there is no doubt in my mind that we have hit the end of the old highway, where we need to choose the new one that isn't quite done yet. We'll have to create it as we go. Our visions and our purposes are part of what will create that new highway to go forward on. So Vesta and the Sun are in a magnificent trine to Chiron the healer and Eris, Mars's sister, who really stirs the pot. I've spoken about her before, signifying tremendous support for us to hold our hearts and generously go forth warrior style as we bump up to the next tier of who we are on a soul level. Yes, we can. We all chose to be here now. Some of us feel exhausted and tired, I can tell you I am, that we have had enough of the intensity. We are actually witnessing the breakdown, which causes the chaos of the old, and the new is starting to bleed in and is downright different and weird. It's going to take time, it's going to take a while. We are all in this for the long haul, and it is not going to go away. We are building something very new. The Jupiter-Saturn meeting through until next June of 2025 is an adjustment time in regards to the new air element, which is very mental and fast and quick, futuristic, diverse, versatile, that began back in December of 2020 when Jupiter and Saturn came together. They began a new 200-year chapter. We're just at the beginning. So the adjustment time I am referring to is actually called a crisis in action in astro speak. It has a cardinal quality, so there is an initiatory feel to the energy that we're experiencing now, moving us from uncertainty and insecurity to action, to a bold and dramatic statement of who we are as individuals and as a collective. there can be a sense of self-preservation versus emergence. So there is retreat involved. We take the action, we fall back into retreat. We take more action, we fall back. So the impetus is just to act. We are all meant to get out there with our thing, whatever it may be for you. Just know that in these very weird, crazy, and intense times, there are goddesses holding us, urging and supporting us, giving us all that we need to fulfill our heart of hearts. Remember to keep it simple. I'm not saying it's easy, but keep it simple and use your breath. Breathe through it. The next new moon will be in Virgo on September 2nd. And until then, my friends, tread gently as we march mindfully forward into the unknown. A hui hao.